Hey there, everybody. This is my toe jack. It's based on an 8-ton bottle jack from Princess Auto, the savior of people like me who like to build weird stuff. So a couple of modifications that I've made from the sort of traditional one that I've seen around, simple and easy. This has return springs. Probably most of you recognize those. Mostly because after I put a machine up on blocks, then I bring it back down. The ram won't retract all the way, which sometimes is a pain because you're trying to get set up for the next lift. So here, this is 1/4 inch angle iron. Okay, this piece I'll talk about in a minute. This is the traveling piece that goes up and down. Okay, so these pieces here, these are just angle iron. Okay, I've cut them down quite a bit. Normally they'd come up to here and then across, but I decided probably don't need that much, and it makes it awful heavy. Okay, so other nifty little doohickey I did here. Now, normally, this is the way it goes. 1/4 inch piece, 1/4 inch piece. These are the feet, and this is the traveling toe. I cut down this piece here to about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a tad over, and then angled the end here. And my idea was you're not going to get much strength out of that before it bends, and the feet are back here, so it's going to be also lifting on an angle, putting it at a disadvantage. So why do it? Well, I thought, sometimes the trick isn't, getting the big lift, it's getting it started. So if the machine is sitting right on the floor, then, and I can't get a crowbar underneath it or something like that, maybe I can just scoot this in here and just lift it up the tiniest little bit, and then throw in some 1/4 inch bar stock or something, and then take another bite at it with moving it in where it's much stronger. Okay, so the traveling piece here, this is kind of interesting. I was sort of trying to figure out, how do I keep this traveling piece moving up and down without actually using the ram as the thing that keeps it going up and down? Because these bottle jacks do not have a very good set of guides in them. As a matter of fact, they rack and bind really easily. I found that out. You see this little piece in here? This was where the springs were attached. Was a rod coming out here, and the springs pulled straight down. Well, just that tiny little offset, that's like what, 1.5 inches or something between the new position and the old position, caused it to bind pretty seriously too. So anyways, the traveling piece has a little modification to keep everything moving straight up and down. So I'm just gonna jack this up a little bit here so you can see what that is all about. All right, I'm just gonna pause it so you don't have to watch me jacking this thing 100 times. Okay. All right, so now it's in its I guess about halfway up position. That's about 4 inches of lift or so, and you can see here I've got a groove milled in this piece of 1 inch solid bar. I had another way of doing it before, and well, it sucked. It was a whole bunch of pieces welded together essentially to create this channel, and then the angle iron, the edge of it, sits in this channel in there in order to positively locate it fore and aft, so it can't move around and then rack the cylinder here. Okay, so this can only move up and down, and that's the purpose of the groove. Have to say thanks to a local machine shop teacher who was helping me mill down some pieces that then I was going to weld together to make another version of my first idea that didn't really work. And we sort of put our heads together and then said, well, heck, you know, I think I have a piece of, you know, 1 inch square solid bar stock, so why don't we just mill the groove in that? And wow, what a better idea. So there you go. You got the groove there. Same groove on the other side. It's about it's a shade over 1/4 inch to give us a little bit of a clearance there. I was considering milling down in here. You can't see it. Angle iron always has that rounded edge on it, and I was going to mill down that rounded edge to get a flat edge to go into the flat bottomed groove here. But the machine shop teacher suggested, you know, probably not necessary, and indeed it is not necessary. It doesn't make, I don't think it would make much of a difference at all, and the machine works just fine as it is. Okay, so I think that's about it. Oh yeah, I got to show you this. I felt pretty darn smart when I thought of this. This is the standard release down here, release valve down here. Okay, and so what I did is I took a standard socket fitting called a universal, and this is a 1/4 inch hex, 1/4 inch drive I should say. Certainly wouldn't make much difference if you used any other size, but I happen to have an extra one in 1/4 inch, so that's what I used. So I just kind of stuck it up against that bolt that sits here, or knob or rod or whatever you want to call that thing. Anyways, it's the release valve, and just welded it in. And I'm not a great welder, and it seems to be doing just fine. Okay, and the reason I did that, twofold. One, now if I'm over here, I can release it. Okay, or I can be over here, or I can be over here, or I can be over here. So I can be any old angle I want to be, whatever's comfy for the situation, and it'll work just great. And the second reason is that this is a 1/4 inch drive. So that means that I can use any piece of 1/4 inch square stock and make myself a longer handle. Sometimes when I'm down there beside some big machine like a mill or something like that, I know what I'm doing is safe, but you know, if I could have a 6-foot handle, you know, sometimes I think I might like that, because sometimes you're pretty much, you know, you're not underneath it of course, but you know, you've got stuff, well, a little bit closer than you might like. So this allows me to grab a piece of square stock from my scrap pile or whatever, and I can make a brand new handle. And I can make it as long as I want. The other great thing about using a handle that has a nice long, I believe the Brits call it a Tommy bar. I'm not sure what we call it here in America or Canada in this particular case. Anyways, the great thing about it is that when I go to release this, I can very accurately control the release of the valve. So I can nail it so that I can get the machine moving down, the ram moving down at a snail's pace if I want to. Before, it was kind of an all or nothing kind of thing. It sort of just kind of started going. You'd push, you'd turn the little rod thingy, and then it would sort of just start moving, and perhaps a little quicker than you wanted to. Anyways, I'm going to release this now, and I'll just show you how nicely these springs work. I'm really, really pleased. Okay, just hang on a second. Alright, so here we go. I'm just going to ease this off nice and gentle. And with my handle here, I can start it moving. You can see it's moving there. It's moving just at a snail's pace. You know, if I was lifting something that was 2 or 3 or 4 tons, it'd probably be moving a little quicker. But you know, still, it's nice and comfortably smooth. And of course, if I want to speed it up, that's no problem. And I had to shorten the springs in order to get them to pull hard enough. And they do. So I'm just going to open it up, and there it goes. Okay, and it's all the way down. So locking it nice and easy. Okay, just give it a little twist. Okay, pull it out. And just for fun, I made myself a Nice little holder here. Okay, so that this sits in there very nicely like that. Okay, so there's still a handle to be added, just to tote it around, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to, because before the design I was using didn't have any springs. So when you lift it up on this piece, the whole damn thing came apart, and the jack would come out, and you know, really not great. But now with these springs always exerting a fair bit of pull on this thing, I can just pick it up from here, okay, and away we go. Just the same. Yeah, I probably will put the handle on it. Certainly would make it a whole lot easier if I had to carry it any distance. Anyways, there you go. That's the bottle jack. Katou's bottle jack. You are free to copy it at will. Not that I expect you will. This took a fair bit of work, and there are certainly easier ways to do it, but, well, this is the way it seemed to make sense to me, so that's what I did. All right. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.